finally, Ukraine uses new missiles made by France and the US to target the Russian tank. Russia has claimed that Ukraine used French and US-supplied missiles in an attack on one of its border regions. Russia's Ministry of Defense said on Saturday that it had repelled an attack on the border region of Belgorod by 4 French-made Hammer missiles and 2 US-made HALARM anti-radar missiles. Its foreign ministry also claimed that Russian forces had earlier shot down multiple Western weapons. It said that British Storm Shadow cruise missiles and Czech Vampire rockets also featured in the fight. While it did not specify where the weapons were fired, it said that Western nations now authorize their use against Russia, and that they were playing with fire. The Ukrainian Ministry of Defense did not immediately respond to Business Insider's request for comment. In a statement sent to BI, the White House called the allegations Russian propaganda. It added that the U.S. long-standing policy has been clear. We are focused on helping Ukraine defend against assaults it is facing from Russian forces every day, though we do not enable or encourage attacks inside of Russia. Even so, it said, Ukraine makes its own decisions about its military operations and how it uses equipment that it manufactures. Since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022, Western weapons have been supplied to Ukraine for its defense on the understanding that they can only be used on Ukrainian territory. This has limited Ukraine's ability to take the fight to Russia. Last week, Ukrainian officials renewed their pleas with the White House to be allowed to use U.S. weapons in Russia. Politico reported. President Volodymyr Zelenskyy was vocally critical of the U.S. restrictions in a recent interview with Agence France-Presse. The chair of France's Foreign Affairs Committee, Jean-Louis Bourlanges, has recently called for such restrictions to be lifted for French-supplied weapons, saying that it would end the unacceptable asymmetry of the conflict, Le Figaro reported. The French Ministry of Defense did not immediately respond to a request for comment on the Russian claim. The UK government has also increasingly signaled that it is open to allowing Ukraine to strike Russian soil with UK-supplied weapons. The UK's Ministry of Defense declined to comment on the latest Russian allegations. The reported attack on Russian soil comes as some NATO countries have begun reconsidering the possibility of sending troops into Ukraine. Belgorod, the region with Western-supplied weapons, Russia's foreign ministry claims, was the staging point for the country's recent Ukraine's Kharkiv region. Russia has reopened a front there, capturing one town with little resistance and threatening to push toward the city of Kharkiv itself. Ukrainian sources told Politico that they watched 30,000 Russian troops amassing in Belgorod, and there was immense frustration that they couldn't strike because of the restrictions. Russia's advancing forces have expanded the zone of active hostilities by almost 70 kilometers, pressing outgunned and outmanned Ukraine to spread its forces and use reserve Ukraine's military chief, Colonel General Oleksandr Syrsky, said Friday. In the Kharkiv region, Russian forces have advanced 10 kilometers from the border, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy said Friday. Russian forces, which made only moderate advances in recent months, launched a surprise assault in the Kharkiv region in May that has resulted in their biggest territorial gains in a year and a half. Zelenskyy said Russian troops managed to advance between 5 to 10 kilometers, 3 to 6 miles, along the northeastern border before being stopped by Ukrainian forces, but added that the region could be the first wave in a wider offer. I would say it's a great success for Russia, but we have to be sober and understand that they are going deeper into our territory, he said, speaking from Kyiv in his first interview with foreign media since the offensive began. Zelenskyy said the situation in the Kharkiv region has been controlled, but not stabilized. He doubled down on pleas to allies to send more air defense and fighter jets to Russia's air superiority as the war grinds through its third year. However, Russian President Vladimir Putin said during a trip to China this week, the northeastern offensive was in retaliation to Ukraine's shelling of border regions, and that Moscow was trying to create a secure zone. Russian forces have taken 278 square kilometers, 107 square miles, between May 9 and 15. Their biggest gains since the end of 2022, AFP calculated using data from the Institute for the Study of War, ISW. Governor Oleg Sinigubov said Saturday Ukraine's armed forces had repelled 2 attempts to break through defenses overnight with the situation under control.